Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way being recorded. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass. Live and Color here with you on Grande's Graveyard. Welcome back to another edition of John Grande Unboxes the World. And in that vein, I've got in on that Kino Lorber sale, ladies and gents. And just like the last one, I figured, why the hell not unbox it live on the camera and on the graveyard here for you all to see and share with you what I got in the sale. I got like 8 or 9 titles here. I figured I'd just, kind of run over a couple of these and share with you what I got. If you guys got in on the sale, the Kino sale, please let me know. It's funny, I got in on the very last day of it because when they announced it, like I was saying in the other video where I unboxed Kino, it's like that little voice inside my head saying, save your money, save your money. And then the louder voice saying, you stupid four-eyed bastard, go spend your money. So I went ahead and on the very last day and the final hour, it wasn't really the final hour, but it was like middle of the day and I was bored at work and I said, fuck it. I said, I'm going to go Blu Ray hunting, son of a bitches. And my idea was to stop at $50 because you get the free shipping. I was at 49 and 97 cents. So I was like 3 cents short or something. And I had to add, and I ended up adding like 5 more movies. So it ended up being like over $100 worth of shit I got. So I don't know what a difference 3 cents makes. They made more sales. Very smart, Kino. I'm learning your tricks though. But without further ado, we're gonna dive right into the box of blue, if you will. And first out of the bag, oh, this is a classic here. And it's directed by the legendary Antonio Margheriti from the year, I believe, 1980. This is Cannibal Apocalypse. Yes, Mr. John Saxon, starring the late, great John Saxon. Of course, Giovanni Lombardo Radici. This is one of the Cannibal films that was on the Video Nasties list. I actually covered and reviewed this one on the Cannibal special episode way back, like 2 years ago. And this is one of my faves of the Cannibal films on the Video Nasties list. Of course, Antonio Margheriti's direction, fantastic. This one, it's much more of an action-like film as opposed to a jungle adventure, in similar veins of films like, The Man from Deep River or Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, aka Make Them Die Slowly. This one, it takes place in the city, so it has that sort of city grit to it. It was shot in the late 70s, so it has that kind of Taxi Driver feel in some spots. And I don't know, I really like Cannibal Apocalypse. It's a film that I've been wanting to have to add to the collection for a long time. Another Video Nasty to the collection. I want to one day own all 72 of them. I would love to own them all. I believe I own like close to 30 now. It's like 25 to 30 I own it, but this one adds to the pile, and I really, really dig this movie. I remember the crazy scene in the movie theater with all the crazy gore and sequences in there. I mean, crazy stuff. Really love this one. Wanted to pick this up on Blu Ray high def. It was like $10. Couldn't beat it. Next, out of the box, out of the unboxing of Kino, if you will, this is from one of my all-time favorite filmmakers of all time. I mean, when it comes to great filmmakers, especially the early 1960s, I look no further than this guy right here. Made some films like, Black Sunday and Blood and Black Lace. And this one, in that vein, is Black Sabbath. Yes. Of course, directed by Mario Bava, starring the late legendary Boris Karloff. Great little anthology horror film, one that I've been wanting to add to the collection for a long time. But I thought it was very odd I didn't own this one already. It was like, I thought I did, and I looked and I said, fuck, like I don't have Black Sabbath on Blu-ray. Like I've got to change that. So I picked this up. I really like this cover art here, like this old school Gothic horror cover here. I really remember liking most of the segments in this movie. I believe there's 3. I always remember the one. Well, I don't want to spoil. I would spoil it if I went into my favorite one. But I really like Black Sabbath. Very fun horror anthology, and one I had to add to the collection. So Black Sabbath from Mr. Bava. Always a good choice to pick up some Bava. But up next here, this is, I believe, a French film. I bought this one blind. I believe it was directed by Jean Rollin, if you will. And this is, of course, a classic Rob Zombie title song. This is The Living Dead Girl. Yes, Living Dead Girl, from, I believe, the year 1982. I have not seen this one. This was a blind buy for me. Looked very gory, looked fucking intense and insane, and I'm always down for some extreme French horror. I mean, Inside, High Tension, I'm all about new French extremity. This is some old school French extremity, so I'm hoping to see a lot of, boobs, blood, and mayhem, and all these things that I love to watch when it comes to, extreme horror films. And The Living Dead Girl was one that I was like, you know what, I'm so down to give a blind buy. And that's the thing with the genre. I always like to do blind buys and always like to, you know, especially if it's cheap, because if I'm not spending crazy money, I don't mind blind buying something and taking a chance and having a fun like movie night with it. And this is one that I'm probably going to be doing that with. Hopefully it is among the ambiance of awesome zombie movies that I already have in the collection. But The Living Dead Girl from France, this is one that I definitely wanted to check out. So pick this one up in the sale as well. Coming up next, oh man, this is from one of my all-time favorite independent filmmakers, and cool enough, he actually watched the show in the past when I reviewed his film Horror, Mr. Dante Tomaselli. This is his first film, and you know, I had to pick this up because I'm a big fan of the guy, and he's a friend of the show now. So, Mr. Tomaselli, I don't know if you are watching this, but if you are, cheers to you, my friend, because I love this fucking movie right here. This is Dante Tomaselli's Desecration. Yes, Desecration from the year 1999, his first film. I am a diehard fan of his first two films, of course, Desecration and Horror, which I already did an in-depth review back in December when I discussed it, and Misery on 4K, which I also got from Kino, funny enough. But Desecration, I remember this as being a fucking bone-chilling, scary-ass horror movie, and I love all the religious themes in Dante's films, and I don't know, I think the world of Dante Tomaselli as a filmmaker. Cool enough, he sent me signed stuff for my birthday, like signed pictures and photos and newspaper articles, and he sent me this, and he signed it like right here, like, you know, to John from Hell from Dante Tomaselli. Really cool guy, just really cool, down to earth, you know, fellow diehard horror fan, and I really wanted to add this one to the collection. Now all I need is Satan's Playground and I believe The Torture Chamber. Those are the only two Dante Tomaselli films that I do not own. But I'm happy to say this is the first one I picked up on high definition Blu-ray. So I'm interested to see how this looks, because this was low budget. In similar vein to Horror. Horror is low budget as well. I have the DVD of that. There is no Blu-ray of that one out. But I'm interested to see how this transfers over. Of course, you know, gritty late 90s independent horror film. Really good one to watch like after midnight with some friends or even by yourself. It'd probably get that bigger impact out of it if you watch it by yourself. Really love Desecration from 1999 from filmmaker Dante Tomaselli. Very excited to add this to the collection. Shout out to Mr. Tomaselli if you watch, my friend. But next up, oh man, another great Italian filmmaker here, and arguably one of his most underrated movies. And it's funny because the guy's made so many great movies, but every now and again, I feel like I come across one that I find to be underrated, whether it be Don't Torture a Duckling, The Devil's Honey, or this film here from 1977. This is Lucio Fulci's The Psychic. Yes, The Psychic from the year 1977. This is a really fucking awesome horror movie, one that nobody really mentions much when it comes to Fulci's filmography, and I think that's a damn shame. I want to one day down the road do a Fulci director spotlight episode. I've done the Gates of Hell trilogy, but I think it'd be really fun to do like Don't Torture a Duckling and maybe The Psychic on an episode, like some of the movies he made in the 70s. I would definitely like to do a Fulci director spotlight episode one day because he's one of my favorites. And like, also maybe review the documentary from Severin, the Fulci for Fake or Fake for Fulci, one of those. I remember really liking that documentary. So it'd be cool to discuss that, the man's life, and then maybe two of my favorite of his most underrated works, whether it be this or a film like Don't Torture a Duckling. I really like both these movies. This one I remember being really psychedelic and the visuals just haunting. So I'm really excited to pick this one up on 1080p Blue. Coming up next, though, oh man, this probably I believe the only non-horror film out of this entire pickup here. And it is from, I think, arguably next to Stanley Kubrick and Dario Argento, I think this guy is the most visually appealing filmmaker to ever fucking do it, and that's saying something. And hell, I'd even throw Bob in there. Bob is fucking great. But this is from director Andrei Tarkovsky. This is The Sacrifice. It's a 4K restoration, and I am a monster fan of Tarkovsky. I've just picked up the Blu-ray from Criterion of his film Mirror. From 1975, and this one is just, it's gorgeous, stunning cinematography once again, and to see a 4K transfer of a Tarkovsky film, sign me the fuck up. I could not have clicked add to cart any quicker than I did, because I really love his work. He was a big believer in story is overrated, visuals are everything. And like, I know there's be a lot of people that be, well, why would you watch? I believe this is a long film. Like, this is a 146-minute film. So this is 2 hours and 26 minutes. You're going to feel every single bit of that because there's not much story or dialogue to really soak up or soak in. There are themes to soak up and soak in, but these movies are very much more visual experiences as opposed to, you know, complete narratives. And that's the thing with Mirror too. Mirror is all about this guy's life, but they really don't tell you that until the last minute of the film. You're like, oh shit, that's what we've been watching this whole time. Like, I know a lot of people that they probably needed to be an acquired taste for a guy like Andrei Tarkovsky, but that is an acquired taste that I have grown to very much appreciate and enjoy over the years. Tarkovsky's The Sacrifice, super excited. This is probably gonna be the first one I watch because to see this on 4K, the 4K restoration, I feel like it's gonna fucking blow me away. So super excited to add this one. Only a couple more here. The next one, and just like the last one I got, I had to get one from one of my favorite late great filmmakers, Mr. Don Jones. This completes the collection. I believe I own every Don Jones film now. This is his film from the year 1982, I want to say. I believe it came out in 87. It was delayed for the longest fucking time. But I believe it was filmed and shot in 1982. It doesn't say on the back here, but this is his film. This is The Forest. Yes, Daddy's Gone Hunting. Awesome little slipcover special edition here. I always really liked this movie. I'm a big fan of Schoolgirls in Chains and, of course, The Love Butcher. Both of those I have discussed on past episodes of The Graveyard. And I'd like to do this one day, maybe when I do a slasher special or maybe sometime over the summer with Corey when we do summertime slashing on his channel, Mr. King Need Gore. Shout out to you, Corey. This is a really cool little slasher movie that a lot of people sleep on. And I always remember the scene where Gary Kent it's another thing I don't want to spoil. Basically, there's some inadvertent cannibalism in this film, and I always remember it fucking freaking me the fuck out. Basically, one of the characters eats his own wife and doesn't know it. And I don't know why that always fucking terrified me. Like, this is a scary-ass horror movie. Don Jones is one of the most underrated filmmakers out there. I know this is one that gets tremendous amount of hate. But in my opinion, if you're all about low-budget, old-school horror, Don Jones, exploitation, that's your guy, man. Like, Don Jones is fucking one of my favorite filmmakers. This, Schoolgirls in Chains, Love Butcher, 3 of my faves from that era. I really appreciate Don Jones's work. It's such a shame he's passed on just recently. About a year ago, he passed away. But I really like this film here. I wanted to pick it up. This was the most expensive one. This one was not on sale. This was like 20-something bucks. So, I mean, that is what it is. This was the most expensive. I don't know if people were going to want to blind buy something that's like over $20 on Blu-ray, but I highly recommend The Forest if you have not seen it. Even if you want to stream it somewhere, I'm sure you can. But I wanted to show my support for Don Jones because I really like the guy. Big, big fan of the filmmaker. The Forest. Daddy's Gone Hunting from 1982 or 87. I forget what the fuck year. I believe this was delayed, but I really like this film. And last but not least, the last one out of the box. This is, I don't know even, this is like, how do I even promote this movie? This is like, I'm sort of ashamed I bought this. This is from, I believe the year, is it 2004 this came out? 2004. This is from one of my all-time favorite filmmakers, arguably my all-time favorite filmmaker, Mr. Dario Argento. This is The Card Player. Yes. Slip case special edition here, Blu-ray. This is like a fucking episode of CSI directed by Dario Argento, but it's not very good. I won't lie, I am a really, really big card fan. Like, I love playing Texas Hold'em, cards in general, blackjack. I'm a fan of cards. So I thought when I first watched this movie that I'd really like it, and then, you know, the next 90 minutes or so passed on, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Dario, what's happened to you? But he did bounce back with his Masters of Horror stuff and Mother of Tears, of course. But this is, I always want to add an Argento to the collection. Why the fuck not? It was like $9. Why the hell not? I'll give it another chance one of these nights. Maybe I'll do a early Argento 2000s episode where I discuss Sleepless and The Card Player, maybe. That would be a fun episode to do down the road, but I always want to add more Argento stuff to the collection, so that's why The Card Player gets the pass here. That's why. But that is the unboxing. Yes, we've officially finished the unboxing video. I wanted to thank everybody for watching, of course. This was a fun-ass time, and I will be getting to watch these very shortly. So in review, we will go over them one more time. We had Argento's The Card Player. We had Fulci's The Psychic. We had Dante Tomaselli's Desecration. Really stoked to add that one to the collection. We had, of course, The Forest from Mr. Don Jones. Great, great movie. Tarkovsky's The Sacrifice. I found a way to get like every sort of flavor of filmmaker in here, man. And so it's not Jean Rollin, of course, his film The Living Dead Girl from France. I'm super excited. Baba's Black Sabbath. And finally, last but not least, from director Antonio Margheriti, Cannibal Apocalypse from 1980. Can't beat it. Bunch of blues added to the collection. Thank you. Shout out to Kino Lorber, and shout out to everybody who watched this video. If you want, give it a thumbs up, a comment. If you got in on the sale, please comment below. Let me know. And tonight, I'll be show prepping for tomorrow. We're doing the folk horror special. I'm super excited. We're talking about the Unholy Trinity. Of course, Witchfinder General, Blood on Satan's Claw, and The Wicker Man. Yes, super excited to get into all things folk horror tomorrow. But that is tomorrow. For now, I am the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass. Live in living color here with you on Grande's Graveyard. Too sweet peace, and we'll catch you next time.